Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because today we're diving into a story that's as riveting as a high-speed chase. In today's video, we're going to tell the crazy story of the Dodge brothers. It is a story of inspiration and innovation, but also a story of hate and envy between the Dodge brothers and automotive icon, Henry Ford. Picture this. It's 1887. And two brothers roll into Detroit with nothing but dreams in each other. Little did the world know, John and Horace Dodge were about to kick off a journey that would reshape the automotive industry. Just a few years later, these brothers were running one of the largest machine shops in Detroit, a city destined to become a hub for automobiles. Enter the man of the hour, Henry Ford. The Dodges teamed up with Ford, working behind the scenes to craft the backbone of his cars. They were the unsung heroes, the maestros behind the curtains, building every component with meticulous precision. But here's the twist most folks miss. Without the Dodge brothers, the iconic Model T, the car that revolutionized transportation, might never have hit the roads. These guys were the driving force, the secret sauce in Ford's recipe for success. Yet, strangely, they stayed hidden in the shadows, obscured by the towering figure of Mr. Henry Ford. Now, let's talk about ambition. The Dodges, fueled by their desire to make things better, decided to spread their wings. Their partnership with Ford turned into a full-blown rivalry when they rolled out their own car company, stepping into the fierce automobile market. And guess what? They didn't just participate. They soared to the second best-selling car company in the U.S. right behind. You guessed it, their former business partner turned rival, Henry Ford. But alas, here's where the road takes a dark turn. Despite the Dodges leaving an indelible mark on the automobile landscape, recognition eluded them. Their names were etched on millions of cars worldwide, yet their story remained veiled in obscurity. It's like crafting a masterpiece, signing it, and watching it hang in a gallery without anyone acknowledging your brushstrokes. The Dodge brothers, those poor kids from Niles, found their beginnings in a small Michigan town. Raised in a family of hard workers, they learned the ropes in their father's machine shop, building and maintaining boat engines. Life wasn't a joyride. They were the poorest kids in town, going barefoot in cold weather and wearing ragged clothes. But hey, they didn't grumble. They just rolled with the punches, crafting resilience that would define their future. This humble start didn't drive a wedge between them. It brought them together as partners. Despite a 4-year age gap, John and Horace were united by a shared initiative and work ethic. They took on any job they could to support their family. The Dodge brothers were born hustlers. And now, let's fast forward a bit. Picture the Dodge brothers standing at the crossroads of success and tragedy. Their story, a roller coaster of triumph and defeat, is the stuff of legends, and yet it often remains hidden in the annals of automotive history. Now, as teenagers, our heroes, John and Horace Dodge, jumped into the family hustle at the Upton Manufacturing Company. What were they into? Steam engines and threshing machines, basically the cool gadgets of their time. It was like an apprenticeship in the world of machinery, where iron and steel were their playmates. These brothers were like the young rock stars of the machining world, turning chores into a symphony of gears and bolts. Now let's talk about Detroit in the late 1800s. It wasn't just a city, it was the beating heart of industry, a place where innovation echoed through the streets. And who's rolling into town? John Dodge, the man with a plan. With his brother Horace in tow, they weren't just chasing dreams, they were chasing destiny. Detroit welcomed them with open arms, and the Dodge brothers dove headfirst into the industrial playground. But this wasn't just about making ends meet. It was about mastering their craft. Detroit became their canvas, and iron and steel their paint. They honed their skills, turning wrenches and shaping metal, all while dreaming of something bigger than themselves. And then, a twist in the plot. The Dodge brothers found themselves at the Upton Manufacturing Company, the place where they first tasted the world of machinery. It was like a full circle moment, but this time, they were not the apprentices, they were the maestros. The late 1800s, and John, the elder Dodge, is pushing 36, while his brother Horace is cruising at a cool 32. They decide to roll the dice, opening a machine shop that would become a game changer. Picture this. They bring in the latest and greatest equipment, assemble a stellar team of 12, and voila, the Dodge Brothers machine shop is born. This isn't just any shop. This is a hub of innovation. They don't discriminate. If it's a machine, they'll build it or fix it. Farm equipment, stoves, pipe-setting gizmos, stationary engines, you name it, they nail it. In less than 3 months, they're the talk of the town. A Detroit newspaper even gives them the crown, calling their store the most thoroughly equipped and up-to-date in the city. Now that's how you make an entrance. But hold your horses, it's not all smooth sailing. Despite their stellar rep, the Dodge brothers face the classic entrepreneur hurdle, chasing payments from small budget clients. It's a grind, but they don't back down. And just when they're maneuvering through this financial maze, enter Ransom Eli Olds, a man with a vision for cars. Olds, the OG auto enthusiast, approaches the Dodges. He's the brains behind the assembly line, and he wants their skills for his automobile company, Olds Motor Works. The Dodge brothers are in supplying engines and transmissions for Olds Model R curved dash. This car, a marvel for its time, zooms into the hearts of the masses. By 1901, the Dodge brothers become the secret sauce behind the success of the curved dash. It's a commercial hit, selling like hotcakes, and by 1902, they're cranking out 2,500 units. That's not just a boost, it's a full-blown acceleration. The Dodge brothers aren't just skilled machinists. They're automotive maestros, orchestrating success on the factory floor. And now, enter the man of the hour, Henry Ford. He sees in the Dodges what we all see today, a relentless pursuit of quality and reliability. Ford, the visionary, joins forces with the Dodge brothers. Together, they're not just building cars, they're crafting a legacy that would reshape the entire automotive world. The Dodge name becomes synonymous with reliability, and their partnership with Ford is like a symphony of gears working in harmony. Yet, here's the twist. Despite their monumental contribution, the Dodge brothers remain in the shadows. It's a tragedy in the making, a tale of brilliance overshadowed. Now imagine this. The Dodge brothers, John and Horace, were instrumental in the success of Henry Ford's empire. It was the dream team, the automotive Avengers. But as they say, all good things must come to an end. The partnership was successful, but the cracks were there from the start. Ford's arrogance and stubbornness, traits that could rival a bull-headed mule, started getting on the nerves of our brothers. For years, the Dodges, being the mechanical maestros they were, offered Ford pearls of wisdom on how to soup up his cars, especially the legendary Model T. But Ford, with a confidence bordering on obstinacy, turned a deaf ear. Instead of embracing their input, he insisted they stick to building parts for him. It was like telling Mozart to stick to the triangle while composing a symphony. Naturally, this grated on the Dodges. Despite raking in millions with Ford, the brothers had a hunch that relying solely on the Ford empire might not be the best strategy. So, in 1913, John Dodge threw in the towel as vice president of Ford Motor Company, declaring, "I'm tired of being carried around in Henry Ford's vest pocket." It was a mic drop moment signaling the birth of their own automotive venture. Cue the grand entrance of the Dodge Brothers Motor Company in 1914. This wasn't just any launch, it was a spectacle, with more than 6,000 people gathering to witness the debut of the first Dodge car, the Model 30. John and Horace, the dynamic duo of mechanics, had become synonymous with quality, and the world was eager to see what they'd cook up. The Model 30 was a showstopper. With a 35-horsepower four-cylinder engine, it packed 15 more horses under the hood than Ford's Model T. But that was just the beginning. Hold on to your hats. It was the first car with an all-metal body, boasting features like electric starters, headlights, a 12-volt electrical system, and even a speedometer. Talk about innovation. By 1915, over 45,000 Dodge cars had hit the streets, making them America's third best-selling automaker in their debut year. Move over, Model T, because the Dodge brothers were here to play. Unlike Ford's annual model updates, the Dodges focused on mechanical improvements, diversifying their lineup with touring cars, sedans, roadsters, trucks, and even taxis. But the story doesn't end there. Frustrated with this financial tug-of-war, Ford decided he'd had enough. In 1919, he offered to buy out the entire Dodge Brothers shares in his company. And the price tag? A jaw-dropping $25 million. That's right. John and Horace, savvy businessmen till the end, took the deal, pocketed the hefty fortune, and walked away from the Ford empire. It was a bitter end to a once thriving partnership, a tale of two giants in the automotive world parting ways. Dodge achieved a global revenue of $14.1 billion against a total market revenue of $1.7 trillion in 2022. Notably, the executive cars segment, the largest in passenger cars, contributed 38% to Dodge's revenue for the year. Please do like, subscribe, and comment for more interesting videos.